Don't you know, and Merry Christmas. It's not really Christmas, but it's a big day in the Triple Fox podcast world. I am the host, Frankie James, alongside me, fresh off her meetings, and apparently she just told me to go f myself. So I guess Bexy will be back because her service wasn't probably doing well. But Bexy, obviously, we already know Coach Bex, the host of the podcast with me now for some time. Before we get into it, special episode today, 4 o'clock. Haven't done one of these ever. 6 years I've been running the show. Typically don't do the old daytime show, but when you get an opportunity to have our guest that we have on today, yeah, you do what you got to do. You do what you got to do to get them on. You know, whether it costs a couple buckaroonies, whether you got to, you got to let the guy make a couple moves. Baxy's back. How are you? We were just talking about our guests and just what we got to do to get them on. Just what we got to do to get them on, Baxy. And we pulled some strings. How's your audio, Baxy? Are you good? Private chat. Hold on. I can't hear you. That's not good. That's not on my end, I don't think. Can anybody else hear me?
We're having a sound issue.
You're back. You're back. That's why I love the live show. Can you hear me? What is going on here? Baxy's gonna fix her thing. She's good. But let's get into it. We make sure you follow the Chirpin' Pucks podcast on YouTube. Make sure you follow it on Facebook. A couple meetings that we had today. We got some big things coming up, so we want to make sure that we'll keep everybody up to date with all that good stuff. But why waste any time? Why waste any time? But we got to make sure that Bexy can hear me first. Bexy, can you hear me?
Yeah, just try to sort it out. I'm not.
You can hear me.
Reason, then.
Well,
yeah, we're good now. I don't.
It's probably the power of our guest. We've never had such a caliber guest that we have on today. I got people messaging me. I want in on the show. We got people. I'm not even bullshitting. 3 messages. Send me the link. I want to be a surprise guest. Send me the link. I want to be a surprise guest. Listen, this is fucking Santora show. Ain't fucking nobody else. But we'll see what happens. Quick comment in here. Let's show it. Hoove, the man, 59. Bring the sexy corn star on. No, why waste any time? Why waste any time? Let's cue the music. One of the hardest working guys I know. Does it all. He's an official. He's a coach. He's a player. He's a goalie. And he's a hard-working man. The one and only Brian Santora. Welcome to the show, brother.
What's up, Max? How we doing?
He says,
what's going on, man? We're happy to have you.
Nothing. He says, what's up, Max? I get nothing.
Listen, we know where the priorities lay.
That's the first thing I said. My phone case is like bulletproof, so I had to take it off so you could hear me.
Yeah, well, I mean, nothing wrong with that, bro. Listen, right off the bat, gotta thank you for coming in. I mean, you and I have been talking about doing this. I want to say past the season. We talked about doing it last season. Couldn't get you on. You were too busy dealing with the fucking paparazzi, as you typically should be. But we got you on a daytime matinee. Thank you so much for joining us, dude. And just to kind of like talk about it, and I'll do the mention. So I got I've known Santora now for a little bit, and everybody always usually thinks that Santora and I know each other from the U, and that's actually not true. So when I got involved with play hockey, shout out to Phil Pazzarelli and Mitch, of course, great guys. I had a great opportunity to actually work with Santora and kind of learn the ropes of that like administration stuff behind like these big time tournaments. And the man that he is, the mentor that he is, he kind of showed me the ropes a little bit, and I appreciate it. And then ever since then, every time I see the big bear, it just brings a smile on my face. But you
were so spastic that first tournament. You looked like a squirrel that just had a like double espresso, just flying all over the rink. And I was like, dude, just calm down. Everything's okay. You just get this, we'll get it done. And, now when I see you, you're like kind of walking on air when you're walking around the tournament. So you were, I've never seen somebody be in so many places doing so many things at one time. The first time we met.
You're literally is exactly what happened. Because I remember I think we were at, I can't remember. I want to say it was Hollydell. we were at Hollydell and we were sitting there, we were running the front desk and like just doing the greeting and stuff like that. And like we were doing the like the rosters and like the points on the computer, and I had no idea what I was doing. I really just went to go do photography work. And like next thing you know, I'm doing computers. Whatchamacallit, the one I think her name was Rachel. She worked like was helping Phil or whatnot. Like she was like the right hand girl kind of thing, like directing. She would say, "Go get these refs ready. Go get these refs ready." And I'm like, "Fuck am I? You want to go yell at the refs? Who the hell do you think I am, Brian Santora?" But we come a long way since then. Obviously, we got a couple of checking for charities under our belt. We got a couple of play hockey events under our belt. But yeah, it was nerve wracking. But besides me, Bex also has a good relationship with Santora. So I actually love to hear how you guys kind of met, because I know that you guys have some history as well. Bex, you want to share that one?
Santora, you might have to correct me here, but I feel like it was like outside in a parking lot at a post Jags game, maybe. Like I feel like I've known you, but not known you for a very long time.
Yeah, it wasn't one of them things where like like you and Laura have known each other since childhood or whatever. It's absolutely post like women's hockey, Jags game, or possibly even a Jags practice. That's actually where I went from like a regular coach to an infamous coach because of the Jags. So
yeah, because I feel like
so your
you were
coaching
involved with their
career,
first season, right?
yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's from that very very first season is like kind of when you and I like really like I think it was like your name was like a name that I knew because of like Whitey and stuff like that. But like
Yeah.
I think that was like the first time where it was like you and I actually like had interaction, and ever
Yeah.
since then it's like I can't get rid of you.
No, you're definitely not getting rid of him. And it's funny because like that's one of the things. Like obviously, I know that him like coaching and obviously like, leading into the clinics. Like I don't know Santora as the coach of. Obviously we're going to talk about it, but just to ask the quick question. What was like the first team that you coached, Santora?
The first actual team, I think that would have to be a Jags squirt team, possibly a middle school team. I'm one of the two. I can't remember. It's either the Riverfront Raiders or the Jags. I was asked to step in as the head coach, and I was like, I've never done the full team before. I've always been like a specialized coach. So it's an awesome experience, and I love it. It's being able to kind of pass on what you know to the kids and having them their eyes kind of bug out when they're like, I'm like, well, why don't you try this play and why don't you move over here? And then it happens and it's like a tic-tac-toe goal kind of thing, and they're just like,
very
crap.
calming. He says that very calming. You should hear when I'm reffing his game or he's in the stands. Frankie, you're up. Shit. I'm like, oh shit, what the fuck? I got fucking, oh my god. But no, I love that, man. And then we kind of kick off the show with the knock who's there, Santora likes hockey. Let's kind of talk about the origins, man. How the game started for you. And we'll obviously dive into like the specifics, but like just kind of like how hockey became like the sport that you dedicated so much time to, and kind of start from there.
So I was lucky. Listen, I was a Philly kid. I grew up in the city, and really outside of like playing travel hockey, in Philly, now there is, but there wasn't like in Jersey they had like middle school teams and travel, and then high school and juniors. Over in Philly, it was kind of like if you played for a travel team, you played ice hockey. There may have been a couple in-house programs like where I started at Rizzo. But like you just got out there and skated. There's a lot of
right there.
That's like I spend so much time down there during the season, either reffing or coaching or whatever, just to kind of give back to that rink, because that's where everything started. That's where I learned how to skate. That's where my first leagues were. The guys down there that run the in-house league are fantastic. I manage the refs down there, and I do a lot. I jump in a lot whenever I can to give back. But yeah, I started just skating in the city rinks and going to open skates, and then going. I obviously went to my first like team game, my first in-house game, and I didn't want to be a goalie at first.
That's crazy to hear.
I wanted no part of it, and then The goalie
Really?
didn't show up, and they were like, "Well, Brian's kind of athletic, and we've got these pads at the rink. Like, have him put them on." And I was like, I cried. I cried the entire first 2 periods that I didn't want to be there.
I was 27 years old, and I was, dude. I couldn't imagine being a goalie. Like, I couldn't imagine
I was
it.
5 or 6 when it happened.
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my god. So you've been playing for a long time, man. Wow, a long time dedicated to the sport, dude. That's incredible. I never got the chance to play at Rizzo. So like, obviously, Northeast kid like yourself, Morel Park. It was always kind of like Northeast Skate Zone and Grundy. And because I didn't start playing ice hockey until I actually went to Father Judge.
Whoa. Don't lump me in with you suburbaners. I'm from down in Center City.
First of all, yes, you're from the city, but I'm not. Morel Park is not suburban. That's like Bucks County shit.
You guys are rich kids compared to us.
Now, when you have 7 sisters, by the way.
Oh, wow.
Couple comments here. Just wanted to get to them. My good man, Mark. Thanks for checking in. Glad you're here, brother. The one and only Steve McKean. Hi, Brian. He's my teammate. Mark checks back in. Keep up the good work. Ring that bell. Desi Santora, the offensive. Love that.
I don't know about that. Maybe like an offensive speed bump.
Well, I don't know, man. You put the points up. Aaron checks in. Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for checking in, my guy. And we also got our good friend Alex Mader checking in. What are your guys' favorite practice drills to run? We'll get there with your questions, brother. The Q&A hasn't started yet, Alex. All right. Don't play at Rizzo. Somehow there's bird shit on the rink in the summer and winter, despite birds leaving the state for the winter. Oh well, you never know. I mean, you never know because it's Rizzo.
Charm. It adds to the charm of a small town rink.
My favorite slaw.
And how do you get better without challenges? You never know the adversity you're going to face in life. So a little bird shit might go a long way.
Bird pooping on you is supposed to be good luck.
Right, exactly.
Oh, that's well said.
That's why all my luck happened to me before I was 5 years old, and ever since, that's woo.
I love that, man. And just like hearing, kind of just what you were saying, just like been playing for so long, man. Like, and did you have any time off? Like, or have you been involved in the sport like just totally consistent? Because obviously I know they got the boy who's playing as well. Like, were you always like active in playing hockey since when you started?
Yeah, I mean, like when I was, back in like the late 80s, early 90s, even mid to late 90s, like you took the spring and summer off for the most part. Like some rinks were open year round, but a lot of rinks would melt their ice down. And like I played baseball, and
baseball.
Yeah, I played baseball and street hockey, and it's. I love hockey, so as much as I could get into a rink, I would get into a rink.
I feel you on that, dude. I find myself. I mean, obviously now, like with it, like playing and now refereeing and like hockey photography, like tonight, like obviously Flyers game tonight. You're gonna be there. You got a big game. You're gonna be refereeing afterwards. Playing photography, like literally, like tomorrow I have a game. Possibly tonight, going to be at the rink. Saturday we got the big tournament that we're going to talk about later. Sunday, another hockey game. And no bullshit, it's my favorite. It's like my favorite place to be. I literally love being at the rink. I mean, they have the term the rink rat and stuff like that. I try not to keep on that term too much, but like, I just love the game and the guys that like.
That's what it is. That's rink rat's not an insult. It's somebody who loves the game that's always there. Yeah, I take it as a compliment. I call my son a rink rat. He loves the game. I mean,
I like him.
We've pushed him into other sports so that he has a break. Because I don't want him to get burnt out. But like I never had that. Like I've been burning the candle at both ends since I was 7 years old. I'll run all day, but I never got tired of being at a rink. I love being there. It's like I've said it 1,000 times, that fresh cut of ice, open hockey, 6 a.m. You step on the ice first. There's nothing more peaceful than being the first one on the ice when nobody else is in the rink, and it's just the best place you could possibly be.
The dedication and like that you have so much, and I read a very interesting motto today, and it was you only got 90%, give me 10 more, and that was your motto for for Spartan goaltending. That
always give me 10% more than what you think you have in the tank. You got 60, I want 70. You're full to go, I want 110.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. And just to do the quick plug, make sure you give Spartan Goalie, give them a follow on their Instagram, Spartan Goalie Coach on IG, and the brand new, officially the brand new like page for the business, Spartan Goaltending. Get it on Facebook, give them a like, just create it in the midst of the middle of the night. Not going to take too much credit, but I literally said, Santora, do you have a like page? He said, no. I said, I got you. And we got that created, and
Don't
now it's
take all the
kick
credit.
off.
Take all the credit. You made it for me. I would have never been able to make it look that nice.
I'm here for you, brother, and it's growing. So we're gonna transition now to our next topic, and that's kind of like Santora the goalie. And this is kind of what we know initially about Santora is like you are the goalie. You're the guy between the pipes, and it's one of the many things that you do to give back to the game is obviously being that guy, being that goaltender. Now you mentioned that you didn't always we're put in a position where you're a goalie and here you are. You're a goalie. How long have you been a goalie for? And like when you were 5, you were obviously nervous, but like transitioning now to like realistically, no bullshit, one of the top goalies in our league, and just how good you play, and obviously from like a coaching standpoint of like well, you can show other people how to play goalie. When did you fall in the position of a goaltender?
So I was like 5 years old, maybe almost 6, and I jumped in with just to learn to play down at Rizzo, and they've been running that program down there since I think the 70s. There's pictures on the wall from years past, when I was born. Goalies in brown pads, the whole 9 yards. So I showed up ready to skate. I wanted to be a mean defenseman, and like what I saw on TV. And they're like, well, we don't have a goalie. He's not coming. So we need somebody who's like actually like athletic that can get in net. And they like all turned and looked at me.
Huh?
And I was like, what? So they have house pads at the rink. So they're just kind of borrower loaner pads. So they strapped me up. I cried the entire time. I cried out onto the ice. I cried during the first 2 periods of the game. I was just a mess. And then the game ends and we win 1-0. And my whole team goes berserk. Well, there was hold on. Don't give me too much credit. There was only 3 shots in the game, and I saw one of them. So at that level of hockey, it's
so it wasn't until that shot happened you changed your mind.
Yeah, it's 10 kids on the ice at like what used to be called Atom level hockey, and it's just a cloud of kids chasing a puck around. That's really all it is. And somehow we got a puck hysterical. In. I got my first shutout, and I fell in love with the game just completely.
I love the comparison that you kind of said with like that first shot, because like obviously people know how tight Crawl and I are, and when I had him on the show, he literally said almost the same thing. Like he got into the goaltending position, and as soon as he felt that first shot, he was hooked. He was absolutely hooked. And it's kind of funny that you mentioned about the goaltending position, and like you played against a lot of players, and a lot of players will definitely have something to say about your goaltending. And why waste any time? Let's get a little something in here real quick for a little quick chirp. Let's get the one and only Meatball in here. He's got something to say to you. Meatball,
there he is.
Hey, I love how Frankie's like. I mean, Santora was a top goalie. You're talking about 15 years ago, but now we're like Swiss cheese.
Swiss cheese, there it is, and just thank you, Meatball, so much for joining us, my friend. Just want to come in here and give you a little quick chirp. Means a lot. Staying in the back for a little something. We got a lot of surprises on this show tonight, too. By the way, the one and only Meatball just coming on for a quick chirp. Hits him with the Swiss cheese.
That's my guy. That's my guy.
I love that. We had a couple of Swiss cheeses here. Drew Campbell checks in. Swiss cheese. My main man, James DiDomenico. How you doing, brother? Westchester University, the Pride. Just did a little mic up for him. How you doing, brother? Thanks for checking on the show, my friend. John White, all those years goaltending, and he still doesn't know how to close his 5-0. I disagree, because there's video footage of a shootout, the game on the line. Hockey Fights MS. I saw my spot, and boy, did he just take it away from me. I sucked that game. I got beat up. You beat me up that game. Fucking beat me up. Tons of comments here. Brian checking in. Shut up, Santora, you clown. First and last shutout of his career. We got our good.
That's my drinking buddy. That's like we play on our tournament team, the Timberwolves. Like if me and him had played juniors together, we probably would have we'd be both dead.
Oh my goodness! I mean, listen, the flyer speaks for
All
itself.
miracles.
It's literally a picture of referee Santora with a cowboy hat on and a beer, and it looks like you're shushing the player version of you. I'm absolutely here for it. But
shushing or slapping, one of the two. I guess we'll wonder what player said.
it's hysterical. So playing goaltending, you had the shutout, and like you were obviously hooked. So like you just continuously just keep playing goaltender, I imagine, right? Like through like I guess high school. Did you play high school? I imagine you played high school hockey too, right?
Yeah, I jumped on with LaSalle, and then I went up transferring.
Oh, I knew there's gonna be some goody two shoe bullshit. You're saying that we're the rich ones, LaSalle?
Yeah, so LaSalle started at my grade
scholarship.
Yeah, I was on a scholarship.
You're such an asshole.
So that was the only way I'd ever be able to go there. I would have wound up at Roman or North or somewhere like that if I didn't get a scholarship there. And RIP to North or Norphans. Yeah, I played. So I got hooked, and admittedly, I'm not a super talented goaltender, but I will outwork anybody that I know. If you're in my way to get a starting spot, I will outwork. I would have outworked you and earned the spot. Like that's been my drive. That's the only reason I made it anywhere as far as I did, is because I worked harder than everybody else.
I love that, dude. And you know what? I mean, I can't take away from the talent and like the way that you play the goaltending position. I finally got to see you a few times, obviously, and playing against you. Like the first time I really got to see you play goaltender, and it was realistically at Hockey Fights MS, because we've always played against each other as you as a player.
Yeah.
So obviously going up against you, and then seeing you play the goaltending position. But it's ironic you say that, because a lot of people say that actually about Peyton Manning, that he wasn't the most talented player on the field, but he was just the most hardest working guy. So I can definitely see that for sure, because when you're in between the pipes, man, you're so passionate. And ironically, I learned a lot of this from the mic up stuff. And by the way, you're incredible on the mic up when you do that stuff with Brad. Like you're so like you're communicating, like you're doing everything you can to shut it down. Except for when our lovely Ukrainian came in and went top on them to tie the game up with 22 seconds left. No big deal.
That was such a nice shot. I was so mad
nasty
at the time.
I know you were.
She's really talented.
Yeah, she was good, man. But like, yeah, dude, like, I mean, you're just like, when you find that love for a position.
Got a lot of.
Go ahead, Bexy. Were you about to talk about Diana?
I was gonna say she's got a lot of skill, but it's okay. We followed up the the shootout with less skill for you, Santora. Made it a little more even.
Right, was that something against me? I was done.
That was something against. He was so pissed off because he had another game he had to go to. I remember him telling me about this. Like that's why we were trying to do the quick shootout.
I know
you were. I can't believe you played that game.
She baited me short side and then went far side post. And I heard it hit the net behind me, and I immediately started cursing because I'm like, now the game's going to take longer. I've got to get home.
Because you went to go play your playoff game with the Corn Stars. Yeah, I remember that one. Yeah, that was tough, man. That was a tough one. But great hearing good stuff about the goaltending position, and like you, dude, you master, man. You do incredible with it, and obviously we'll talk a little bit more about it. But I want to lead into something really, really cool that you're involved in and that you kind of started, and obviously that's Spartan Goaltending Academy. This is just like this is Santora. Like obviously the playing role, but like once again giving back to the youth of the position. And obviously, I mentioned earlier, I got to I had to do some research to do your page today, and just reading like your, the bio, and just like, like reading that, it's not like, hey, Saturday's 7:00, be there. It's like you're speaking about like why it's like, it was just incredible just the way that you had worded it. And like, when did Spartan Goaltending Academy start? Like, and what made you kind of want to like take that transition to like, hey, I want to take the things I've been able to learn and give it back and try and help the youth?
I can't take credit for I came up with the name. I wanted something original. and I wanted an iconic figure that came to mind that was, I guess, number one in their time. They were the best warriors in the world,
Yeah.
the most feared warriors. And there's an infamous battle where they held a pass against 10 times their number of soldiers, and the movie 300 is based on it. And that stand is what kind of led me to the name. But actually, Brian Campbell is the one that kind of pushed me to start coaching goalies. And I was like, I don't know, like, who would want me to, and he's like, dude, you know more about the goaltending position than pretty much anybody. He's like, I've never seen somebody that's been playing as long as you still searching for more stuff to learn about it.
Love that.
He's like, you're a gear nerd, so you can help like new goalies figure out what gear they need to wear or what size they should wear. And he's like, and you're a great teacher. So I got to work at Skates. I got to work at the Flyers training center for a while. And I was like his assistant. I would run the men's league there. And before the U, I was the commissioner.
Yeah.
And
no shit.
Oh yeah.
I did not know that. Hold on a second, everybody. We got something that we got to do here. A little. Commissioner Santora. Welcome to
Steve and them guys, they are doing everything I always wanted to do with the league, and it's awesome. They're
incredible work. It's my favorite league to play in.
Here, I did the best with what I could, and then they're like all the way up here. They're just doing great things. So he pushed me towards it. So I went and I got my first certification for goalie coaching from USA Hockey. And I met Alex Pastuszek, and he's a great mentor of mine. He's a goalie fanatic like I am. And I got my coaching certs, and I got my insurance that I needed for the rink, and I just went after it. And I was partnered with Flyers Youth, and I molded some amazing goalies that I can now watch play college hockey. So it's awesome for me, and I'm waiting for the day that I go up against them on the ice at the U. So the years are coming where that comes full circle. But yeah, it was.
It's a weird feeling, homie. It's a weird feeling.
I'm not ready.
It's a weird feeling.
It's pretty incredible, and once as we're talking about, if you're joining the show late, then you already missed a good show. We got Brian Santora on. We're talking a bit about Spartan Goaltending Academy. Be sure to follow the new Spartan Goaltending Academy Facebook page at Spartan Goaltending. This will be the official page where updates will go, things like that. And then obviously follow his the Instagram as well at Spartan_goalie_coach. We'll make sure that we put those in the comments so that everybody can find them. So I remember when you were talking about the goalie clinic, obviously involved with the U and stuff like that. Is it currently still happening? How can people kind of contact you to kind of get involved to within your clinic?
So summer hours are a lot easier to get ice time. I'm working with a couple different rinks to try and get some ice slots so that I can get. We coach kids and adults.
I was about to ask you that. Yeah.
Yeah, I have.
There's an interest. I have an interest. The last couple months, I'm going to cut you off. The last couple months, and obviously we had conversations with something that we're going to be setting up. I think probably in November, with our good friend to do a quick plug for him with Z-tending, and where we kind of get on the ice, and I was going to be the scapegoat because the goalie position is just it's like the quarterback position. It just seems like such another animal, and I mean. I really do believe it. And Brad said it best too. And as yourself, taking that first shot, I think is what it takes. Almost like taking that first big game that you're not used to. And we'll obviously dive into that when we talk about the refereeing. I mean, the goalie position. And listen, the division that you were playing with, obviously in the silver level, and I'm sure higher at some point. Those guys can fire it, dude. Those guys can fire the puck, man.
I love playing at the higher level because the timing is easier. It's a guy's just either going to take a shot or he's not. There's a lot of deacon involved. A lot of guys can handle the puck, and I love playing against better players. I always want to play against somebody better than me. And, jumping into gold for a couple games, like playing against Huffnagel and all those guys, it's amazing how much like the higher level games have come. You see guys that play at a high level and you're like, oh, I could stop that guy. And they walk in and uncork a snapshot and it's past you before your hands can move. And it's just awesome.
Like you've been through that before, I'm sure.
Yeah,
we have some competition in our league, man. Like our like watching those silver level guys, and I got to watch a lot of that. Obviously, and our good friend Brad Crawdaddy checks in live from Disney World. Actually, he is. I think checking on his Instagram and Snapchat. I think he's at Harry Potter World right now. So thanks for checking in live from Harry Potter World. He hits it with Sweet, the oldest active goalie in the UAHL. Well,
shut up,
Shook. I love that, dude. Shut up, Shook. Oh my God, it's great. Brad, thanks for checking in, my guy. Make sure you have a good time. Oh, and breaking news: I'm pooping at Disney. Actually, Aaron and Michael. Well, I'm happy to hear it, buddy. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm highly interested in it. Like, so, do you have to have like with your clinic, like you mentioned, house pads? Like, are there pads, or like does a goaltender have to bring their own equipment with your clinic?
So if somebody wants to try goalie and they come out, it's like they just pay the ice fee. They don't pay me. If somebody wants to bring their kid out for the first time, or if somebody, if we can find a set of pads for somebody that'll fit them, I have an entire goalie store worth of goalie equipment in my garage.
That's good to know.
Anybody that wants to try goalie when we have these clinics, we can outfit them with equipment. Just pay the ice fee. There's no coaching fee, and they can come out and try it because the more people the more kids that I can have fall in love with the game, or the more, shooter tutors I can provide for the UAHL, I'm happy to do it because it's a rewarding position and it's a little nostalgic and a little hokey, and I don't want to sound, Disney-esque, but like watching that fire ignite in a kid when they start playing and that want to play is probably the most satisfying thing that I can do in that sport, period. There's nothing
I love that.
To it. Playing, nothing.
I think
seeing
that's incredible,
that
man.
That needed help, that wasn't sure about it, that you can coach and help. Seeing that kid just take off and get after it in the game is like super rewarding for me.
Well, not only are you teaching them the skill, Santora, but you're also teaching them that Santora mindset of like, pushing and just like, like I said, man, like not only the skill that you're teaching in the position, but your work ethic that you've already kind of talked about of like, going that extra mile. Like they are adapting to their surroundings, and realistically, like who better to teach them than you, man? Like you're like as an adult, obviously you talk to me differently than you would a kid, but like you're still, hey man, this is the best way to do it. Let's figure out like your mechanics and kind of go from there. I'm gonna put a Twitter poll out right now. I'm gonna get a Twitter poll out on our Twitter, and we're gonna put it out there. I want to try goaltending. I want to try goaltending with you in one of your clinics.
Let's do it.
And we're gonna leave it up to the fans, or you guys can comment in. I want to see the comments. If you think it's a good idea, say yes. If you don't think it's a good idea, say no.
Yes.
And we're gonna set it up. We're gonna set it up depending on the answers, and we're gonna make it happen. We're gonna do like a little live thing. We'll get Bexy down there, and I'm being honest, and it's not even for content. Like, I mean, why not? And it's crazy to say like the things that you've been able to teach me and mentor me when it comes to officiating. And we just had the conversation. I was terrified. Like even Meatball, who's hanging out down there, like he was another guy that like kind of showed me the ropes, but he also showed me ref every game that you can. But like, just kind of like learning and like being shown the right way, I think is so important, because if you have a teacher or a coach that could be, not the best fit, it could be very, discouraging to kids. I mean, I'm a 35-year-old man, so if it's like, I don't want to do this, Santora yelled at me, well, then we have other problems. But I love that, and I want to see the comments because I think that we should definitely set that up.
I think it's going to be a lopsided poll, but when it comes to like the style of coaching, I grew up in an era where coaching was you get in the net and get shot at. That's it. It's not like that.
What would you have shooting? Would you be the shooter? Would you be the shooter, do you think? Would you be shooting on me?
I mean, I would shoot and I'd have somebody else come out. I always try and have a forward come out of the particular goalie's age level. So if I have a Mike come out, I'll try and get one of my Mike friends that have a kid that shoots to come out, just so that they can acclimate to the style of
this
shot that
you
they're gonna
kid.
see.
This 8U kid will be lighting me up. I'm telling you, man. Like
I'll get an 8U kid out there, a 10U kid, a 12U kid, a 14U kid. I'll get them all. I'll get all age groups out there, and then an adult. I'll have
That's pretty good,
Pasquarelli
though.
in town. I'll have him come out and shoot on you.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? Jesus Christ, man! Just because you mentioned him, man. Talk about a guy with size that can absolutely fly, dude. He can move, man. I mic'd him up at Checking for Charity. I gotta get that video to him.
Passing's dangerous with the puck, man. That man
dude,
has a thunderclap of a shot. Used to bruise me through my pads.
That sounds terrifying. Why would we do that? I mean, that sounds absolutely terrifying. But I love it, dude, and I love what you're doing, man. And I'm definitely excited to hear. And make sure, like, you follow those social medias that we mentioned on the bottom. Let's get those followers up. If we get over, let's get over 200. Let's get over 200 follows on the Spartan Goaltending new Facebook page, and maybe we'll do a little giveaway at the end of the show. Let's get that over 200. I mean, we're going to transition now a little bit to your playing career, and and then we'll get into like refereeing, Santora the player, and I think that this is so cool, like how it is, and I feel like we got to get another opinion on here on how it is of you playing.
Oh boy,
and let's cue little music. We got another. Everybody's texting on the ice. The one and only John
Eisner. Yep.
That's my line mate.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah, that's my line mate, man.
Welcome to the Triple Pucks podcast. We had this plan last night that we were going to bring him in and talk a little bit about you as a player, because, like you just mentioned, you guys were line mates together, and I got the chance to play, obviously, with both you guys, and you adapting to the forward position, man, or just playing out essentially away from goaltending. It was incredibly impressive. Like I couldn't actually believe it. Like I had no expectations, but like, hey, Santora's jumping out. Those couple games that you played, obviously with the former club team Dexter, and then seeing you with the Corn Stars, dude, you were the leader. I mean, chasing Santora. That's how chasing Santora started. I was watching your points, 2 goals a game, 1 goal a game.
Dude had like 20 assists. It was crazy.
I'm a dish guy, man. I fuck with the puck too much to try and shoot.
It was outrageous.
My best goal ever as a Corn Star was a failed shot attempt by Eisner.
Yo, that was probably the best pass of my career, and it was a fan shot.
I think that has to do with being a ref, getting them to record it.
Yeah, literally. And those that might not know, we got John Eisner in here, former Corn Star. I know now he's got the work schedule thing too. He's playing up there with Dad's Bod. Johnny boy, thanks for joining us. But I want to let you kind of take the floor just for a minute here and just kind of tell us about what it was like to have Santora as a line mate, and kind of what you saw out there with him.
So I never played with Brian out before. I've always played when he was my goalie. But this is also my first year in the U. So like I've never played this much organized, men's league. So like shout out to the U. It's pretty sweet. But so playing with Brian out is a treat, man. You never know what you're gonna get. It's good. It's either he's gonna steamroll through 3 people and give you the best pass of his career, or he's gonna fall over his own feet and then shoot the puck the other way. So
he's outrageous out there.
Box of chocolates.
And we got a quick comment here from Aaron. Thanks for checking again. He says, well, if my son decides to be a goalie, he starts to learn to play next year. Now I know where I'm going. Absolutely, 100%.
Hell yeah.
Santora will be your guy to go to. I mean, you're hearing it from yourself, like right now, just hearing how his work ethic is. Make sure you do that. Make sure you get him out there with Santora. So like my experience with like playing on the ice with Santora, it always goes back to one memory, and that was the brawl. The brawl. It was the best. It was the best because like a little incident happened. Santora just literally just jumps in, and I'm on the ice. I'm like, I got to do something here. And next thing you know, I'm rolling around on the ice on my back. Santora's getting up, and I look at him. I'm going to be like, dude, this is great content for the podcast because and he just starts cracking up laughing. And it was a moment at that point. And I believe that you were probably out there at that game as well. That was before you guys were the Corn Stars. And it was just absolute mayhem. And ironically enough, we ended up facing you guys in the championship. But it was one of my favorite moments.
My goalie. I was protecting my goalie.
Shout out to Big Leads. Shout out to Big Leads. I do miss that guy playing. And that was crazy because that was a crazy game. I was talking to him earlier, and like everything was just absolute mayhem. And you're right. And as you should have, you were defending your goaltender. We had a player that kind of went a little hard into the board and then threw his stick at Leedsy. They went at it. Santora leveled him, and then I'm on the ice. I'm like, I gotta get involved somehow. Saying we got Santora here, so I jumped on Santora, and it's funny because he probably doesn't even realize it. What I did to him was I grabbed his belt line and tried to pull him, and I'm like, nope, he ain't going nowhere. And then I think I just laid on the ice and
that was the scrum where Clarkie grabbed me by my cage and turned my head all the way around so I could look at my own ass.
Yeah, I know that feeling. That's kind of what you did to me when I came into your crease, and you literally ripped my helmet off my face, and my glasses went flying everywhere. Your mic came off.
Don't come into the bear cave if you don't want to get attacked.
I literally got pushed by either by Paul or somebody pushed me in you. I don't get that. Well, I do get kind of close. I was trying to start some shit with you. Absolutely, I was. I had to. We got some more people checking in. I want to get to the comments. Isaac, thanks for joining the show too, by the way.
Oh man, thanks for having me.
We got my good friend Michael Wood. Hey buddy, what's going on? I'll see you at our game on Sunday, my friend. The one and only Billy Gins, my main man. What's going on? And his minister career. Oh, yeah, we'll dive into that, sure. My good friend Tom Cabbage, what's going on, brother? How you doing? Thanks for checking in.
I got something for that minister career right here.
Oh my goodness, look at that. That is epic. While we have it there, Bex, why don't you tell the audience a little bit about what's happening right now? Because that is insane.
So Santora, I'm honestly gonna tell you, I don't know how this happened, but he did a phenomenal job of this summer. Was the officiant for a good friend of ours, Laura White and Jeff Sporer, their wedding. Whitey, who we just had on the show, and Jeff, I believe, also plays in the U. So we just keep it incestuous over here.
I did not know that.
Yeah, no, so, and Santora, I believe you and Whitey go back a really, really long time. So I mean, I'm not surprised, but like when they told me you were officiating, I was like, how is this gonna go? But you killed it, man. Absolutely killed it.
When did you start officiating?
I became a minister of the Universal Life Church in college because my friend wanted to marry his girlfriend. They were completely and utterly in love. They still are. They've got 4 kids. They're very happy up in northern Pennsylvania. And we did it on what we call the DMZ at Kutztown. I got ordained online, and they admittedly, her parents didn't want her to marry him or be together with him, and they were like, you know what, we want to get married. Santora, become an officiant. I was like,
are you
I think you got to go to school to do that. And they were like, you can do it online.
Yeah, check out Spartan Goaltending Academy, where you can become a goaltender and get officiating license to become. That is hysterical. I can only imagine. Like, honestly, thinking about it, like, especially like because I know like when and if I get married, like I know I'm gonna have so many of my hockey buddies there, and especially everybody on this channel and Meatball in the back. I would absolutely 100%. Like, I almost feel like I have to. I have to have him do it.
I've done quite a few. I actually got to marry my best friend in the world. He's been my best friend since we were younger, and I got to marry. I was officiant at his wedding. I got to hitch.
Congratulations.
What's that? Man, that's awesome. Congrats. That's awesome to be able to do that. That's really cool.
It's you said you got to marry your best friend in the whole world. I said, congratulations.
I don't know how Lady would feel about that right now. And if she's watching, I want to know how she feels. Listen,
we call her my sister wife.
We'll bring her in.
That's fair.
She'll be popping up on the bottom. That's hysterical, man. That's really cool that you do that, though. Just a little side note. But obviously, I want to jump back on task here before we let Izzy go. You started the transition as a player. Did you ever? I'm sure you probably have laced them up before you were on the ice with the U. But first team, like, and going as serious as you were, was it with the U and with the Corn Stars, like playing full time like that?
Oh yeah. I had never played organized hockey as a forward before. I only like jumped out on rentals on like Friday night. Shout out to Al Murray, runs the longest running rental and probably the best one in the area. That dude's
where's that at?
That's up at the Igloo on Friday nights. It was started out as a fire department thing. Audemars Fire Department used to have a rental on Friday nights at Pennsauken, and Al's taken it over. They've been running it for like 40 years.
Wow. I hear that that's probably one of the most competitive men's leagues around.
Al's my adopted hockey dad.
In your first organized hockey as a forward, you scored what, 21 points in 12 games, huh?
I want to hear it. I don't want to hear it.
Listen, I had a good supporting cast. I had you guys to put the puck in the net.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, man. I mean,
and
like
goalies
watching
have
you guys.
Vision, so.
Nah, dude, don't stop it. They do have great vision, but listen, if I was healthy, I'm gonna call him out. Silver, he need me in my head, and I was out 4 games. I was 3 points behind you at that point. Full season, I'm taking the lead. What did you end up finishing with? I think you finished like second, didn't you, in the points?
Tied.
No, he's first on our team. He's first. He's got 21 points.
I know. Dude, we're talking league leaders. We were like top 5, like more than halfway through the season. I was chasing Santora.
I think I finished the season tied with Gaskell for 12. We both had 26 points. But he had he can score. Like that guy can put the puck in the net.
Hold on.
That's on our walls, right? One of the new guys. Is that one of the new guys they have?
No, I think Gaskell's always played with them, but he's a solid dude.
There was 2 Gaskells.
Our last game against them in the championship, I was like,
a lot of chirping going on that game.
Oh yeah,
that was so fun.
I skated on the ice. I saw him. I was like, "Hey man, we're tied in points. You wanna see who's gonna win the championship?" And he goes, "Yeah, I think I got the edge," and they won. So.
Yeah, they had, and I don't give a shit. It's my show. I can say whatever I want. They had, they were a competitive team, but this year was a little bit different. They had some.
Oh no, you guys finished tied for the season.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Finished tied for the season. I love that. But we're going to continue on our interview here with Santora. Quick shout out, Eisner. Thanks for checking in live on the podcast, my brother. It was a nice little surprise, and we'll be talking to you soon, my friend. All right,
Santora. I'll see you, bud.
See you, buddy.
Surprises just keep on coming. Shout out to Eisner for checking in. But I mean, man, watching you play, and that was obviously I got to play with you a lot. As you were a player, man. I'm like if I'm not on the ice, I'm like obviously whether I'm in the background or just showing support. Like I'm dissecting the plays, and like I remember one play that you hit Hoove with, man. It was a clean, just using the boards, bounced right on his tape, and I was like. It's just good hockey knowledge. And I think just everything that you're involved in, within the community and just hockey, the sport, like, once again, the vision. Bex had mentioned the vision. Like, maybe Bex might be onto something. Maybe that goaltending vision did show him. But he was still scoring goals. He was averaging 2. It was more than just assists. The guy was putting the puck in the net almost every game. Every game, I'm checking the score sheet.
As a goalie, you know how a goalie is going to move. You know where to look to shoot. And nothing for nothing. When you spend a lot of time being a goalie instructor, you spend a lot of time shooting the puck. Am I wrong, Santora?
Absolutely right. But the problem is that I am not comfortable yet skating with the puck. So all of my goals happen stationary. So I either get fed the puck and I put a rebound in, or I am already standing still and I get a chance to shoot. It's never, here's the kryptonite to Santora's forward game. Just skate near me.
Make you shoot off the rush. Gotcha.
Yeah, I can't. I don't know how to handle going around people yet, and I don't.
I'm so bitter. He would score a point, and he would just look up at me. He would do it. He would do the point. I'm watching his game. I think I was just there, kind of hanging out. It was early on when this Chasing Santora started, and I think we played after, and he literally two points, and every time just pointed at me, and I'm just like, "Fucking, there's nothing I can
asked
fucking
for
do."
it. You
I
asked for
definitely
it.
did. I
I'm
definitely did ask
admittedly
for it.
very competitive. Even if it's with friends, I'm very competitive. So
What?
that was fun.
You? No.
Dude, are you kidding? Have you seen this guy chug a beer? I love it. I love it, man.
I
And
actually
we're-
have. I have seen him
Yeah.
chug a beer.
He's outrageous. I
I
remember
don't think
when
it counts as chugging when it's a single chug, though.
I just saw a thing on Beer Leagues Player Association of you chugging some beer. I was like, oh, that's fucking Santora.
Oh yeah, that was a promotional video that we shot down at Chimney Rustic Brewing with my buddy Dan, and
That's awesome.
it was one of his hockey-esque beers. I believe it was a Hefeweizen or a lager or something like that. And he was
Ooh.
like, yeah, let's show people how easy it is to drink. And I was like, all right. And he filled the mug up and put it on a bar. I was like, whoa. He's like, just chug it. You know you're gonna. And I was like, okay.
Dude, the competitiveness, he probably was like, I'm gonna chug this fucking beer. I can already see it. He probably was like, oh, I'll just drink the beer. No, he was in there to win it. That's Brian Santora
Well,
way.
if you hear the video, you hear Dan go, any fucking day now, bud.
I think we drank that pretty quick. But I love that, man. And we're going to keep talking, but we're going to transition to one of our favorite segments, and that's going to be where Bexy takes over now with the Gut Check segment. Gut Checked, sponsored by Grove Wellness Center. Look for acupuncture and other related help. Check out Grove Wellness Center on their social media. I tell the story every time. I know I was terrified to get this done. I'm not a big needle guy. It was very new to me. They've made me feel very comfortable. Went in there. I had 6 needles in me, 2 in my head. Pretty much had an outer body experience. Make sure you check them out. I'm going to be going back to definitely get the body ready. But they do incredible stuff over there. Shout out to Charles and Dr. Steph as well, who was on our. So something about Grove Wellness there, Santora. Steph is the one of the owners of Grove Wellness Centers. That was the doc that was on our Hockey Fights MS team. So she actually is. Yeah. Yeah, I think we played on a line together. I probably ruined their line, to be honest with you. They didn't pass me the puck anyway. I was just like out there. You know what I mean? It was bullshit. Not doing anything. Not contributing. What did Brad call me? Frankie No Production instead of Frankie No Geek. That's what he was calling me.
That weekend, I have just checked that weekend off as just having a great time, and being able to play some hockey.
It was an absolute blast. But Bexy, why don't you take over now and hit Santora with our first one? 5 questions. First thing that comes to your mind, Santora, we want the answer. So Bexy, why don't you jump in and start with those questions?
Yeah, got you here. So I guess we have to ask this. We got to know favorite player to share the ice with in the UHL.
Oof. Probably I have to say Joe Sawyer.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Joe Sawyer is.
Right, shout out to Joe.
He's hammer shot as a defenseman, but you want to talk about having a grizzly bear defending you in front of the net. Like, there is nobody I'd rather have standing in front of me than that man. He's just a mountain of a man, and he's like the kindest, sweetest guy. And then a switch flips, and I literally watched him rip the cage off of somebody's helmet.
Jesus Christ! Well, I'm familiar with the last name.
Yeah, that'll do you as a goalie.
Was he on? Oh yeah. What club? What is he on? Was he on?
He was on the Bulldogs. Yeah,
Bulldogs. Sawyer. Why am I not ringing a? I mean, he's probably a legend.
Dropping down. Who did you idolize growing up? What player?
This is hard as a Flyers fan, but Martin Brodeur was my hero. I mean, I idolized a lot of goalies. I took everything I could, but Brodeur was the guy. I went to his number retirement ceremony. I went to his last game as a Devil. I went out to St. Louis to watch him play. I have a signed jersey. My kid loves him. He idolizes him too, which is crazy because he was retired long before Brody even played hockey.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
Yeah, that's
really
fantastic.
cool to hear.
Are you enjoying league?
Yeah, it was him, it was Waugh, it was Hasek, it was Belfour, Hextall. But Brodeur was my favorite.
That was Hoodie's choice too. Hoodie was a big Brodeur guy, and it's really cool because he was the greatest. I mean, he my favorite goaltender was Dominic Hasek and Curtis Joseph. I was a fan of both of those goaltenders. But Marty Brodeur is one of the best, if not the best to ever do it. And a lot of people definitely the goaltenders I've talked to definitely go back to him. So I want to ask you just a quick question because obviously his, Brodeur played in the Check It for Charity tournament, I believe. And
Yeah,
we just saw him debut.
Jeremy played, yeah.
Jeremy played over at the Check It for Charity tournament, and then we actually just got to see him debut with the Devils.
Yep.
Just recently, which was really, really cool. Really cool to see, actually. It's cool to be able to see that kind of thing.
I got to coach with Jeremy at a USA Hockey district clinic up in like above Trenton, and it's wild.
Hamilton?
It might have been, but I walked in and Brody was with me going to the clinic, and he saw Brodeur on the thing, and he gets out on the ice and he like skates up to him, and Jeremy's like, "Hey bud, what's up?" And he goes, "You're not Martin Brodeur." He goes, "No, that's my dad." And he was just
my dad. That's crazy. I have a story like that, and I'll just tell it real quick. I was down the shore one time, and I was this little kid was out there throwing football. I was throwing a football to him. Next day, I'm leaving to go home for vacation. Him and his mom are outside, and I was like, "Hey man, your son's good athlete." And she was like, "Yeah." He was telling me that somebody was throwing a football to him. I was like, "Does he play any other sports?" He's like, "Yeah, we're a hockey family." I was like, "Oh no way!" This is when I was writing with the Flyers early on. I was like, "Oh, I'm a journalist on like with the Flyers." She was like, "Oh no way! Bobby Clark's my dad." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And it was Jackie Clark, and we still stay in touch today. And we were talking for a little bit, and I was just like, "I have to tell you, I got to thank you for everything that your dad has ever did for like this team, this city." Dude, she was so cool. She gave me an autographed copy of her book. She was like like mom. Like she was just telling, like we were just having a great conversation. Just a little shout out for her, dude. It was so cool. I was like, "Holy shit, I can't believe it." Like it was really, really incredible. And we got a couple comments here. I just want to throw them up here. Brian Leeds, he's offended that he's not your favorite. Johnny White, Santora, let's have a drinking contest. And I gotta put him up there. My main man, Chris.
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No.
That dude's a bear.
There is one universal rule in life, and it's you do not drink with the whites, you watch them.
Yeah, I can
Correct.
probably I can understand that one for sure. Yeah, I mean, I haven't never been in that situation before, but I can see that. My main man, Curtis DeAngelini, jersey in the back, looking very familiar. That's our Father Judge jersey. Right there. Don't boo. Me and Curtis, we played 3-4 years together at Judge, and then he came back to men's league, and he's tearing it up. He plays over at Grundy. Trying to get him over at the U. I want him to come over at the U, so hopefully he can make his way over there.
But fun fact about idolized player is so Brodeur was my idol growing up. My absolute favorite Flyer of all time was Robert Esch.
Really?
Yeah,
I like that.
Utica, New York boy.
Yes.
I mean, I probably would, if I could, I probably would go. I mean, I was a huge Sergei Fedorov fan, but like Flyer wise, I mean, Claude Giroux, but it's a little bit more personal because he's the first player I ever got to cover. I got to know Claude really, really well over the 5 years that I was like writing with the team. But Danny B, man, another one of my favorite like guys. Like, yeah, I don't know what it is. I just love those guys were like my favorite Flyers. I'm trying to think of even back then who did I like. I don't know. I think it was Drew. I fucking love Drew. But that's our little moment there. But Bexy, why don't you transition us to number 3?
All right, we're dropping in 3. I got to know what's your funniest moment on the ice.
Oof, there's a lot of them.
First one that comes to mind.
I guess I have this tradition when I play with certain teams where I shotgun a beer between periods.
I've seen you do this.
It's more of a like
you did it at Hockey Fights MS. I saw the video. It's fucking hysterical.
It's kind of like an established dominance thing. I always kind of like crack it and then look down at the other goalie and chug it. But yeah, it just kind of goes back to I had a rule in college where like we all had rules. Like it was a locker room thing where like if I'm sober in that, I'm way too serious and I get kind of like crazy and I don't play very well. And if I drink too much, I get sloppy and I don't care enough. But like if I hit that like sweet spot, then I play phenomenal. At least I think so.
That's epic, dude. I love that. I think that's great. I think, and just a comment.
You're not the first player I've heard to have that magic drink number.
never really drank on the bench. I used to. I think my funniest
Cornhole,
memory.
darts, any yard game, any tailgating game, there's that sweet spot that you hit where you've had like 2.5 beers, and you're just on fire.
I can
Yep.
agree to that.
Exactly.
I can agree to that. I think one of my funniest moment on the ice was actually kind of recently when I just made my return back after injury, and we're playing, and the Moose were playing the Raptors, and all of the Wolves were in the stands. I told them I was coming back, so they came back to show some support, and I really appreciate that because I had gotten hurt against them. Once again, to mic up stuff, like, people just love to boo me and literally do everything in their power to make sure I don't score. So I remember coming down on a breakaway and getting absolutely robbed, and I cut the corner to go to the far glass, and I see, oh my god, I can't remember her name. Who played Cartwright.
Yeah.
Cartwright has her dog, me, at the glass, and the fucking dog is fucking chirping me. The fucking dog was absolutely going nuts, just chirping me, and I literally couldn't stop laughing. Like, I was talking about it later on that night, and I was like, dude, I have never been chirped by a little dog. And the thing was just fucking going nuts on the fucking glass in the play. It was hysterical. But that was my little moment. Bexy, transition to number 4.
Yeah.
I like this one.
All right. So number 4, we got a
little choices here.
Quit play
player
sub here.
sub.
So yep. So we got your goalie, your
gotta
ref,
quit
and your
one.
playing. So you got to quit one, you got to play one, and you got to sub for one.
I would probably quit player, play goalie, and sub referee.
Solid answer.
Love that.
All right.
Love that.
And then following up, number 5, we've got the biggest rival in the UAHL, player-wise. Not talking like team to team.
Team.
I
think I.
So, like, other goalie or other, like, an actual forward that's coming in to shoot at me?
Up to you. Who do you think is your biggest?
You can pick both.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would say my biggest rival is Shuksta.
I would say the same thing.
I don't have a very good record against him, but it's a little hard when he's got a wagon in front of him every year. It's kind of hard to get down there and have people put shots on him. But he's probably my biggest rival.
I agree.
And then
together.
Player wise, that's tough. I would say my like. I don't know. I guess
first one.
It's probably Robbie Baskow. Baskow's
Baskow.
probably like my arch nemesis in the U because he's a great player, but he just somehow finds daylight behind me, and it's just no matter what I do, I could come out 12 feet and be right on top of him, and still he scores. And
talk about a player,
he is
Santora.
a consummate, and he is a subtle shit talker, and it just, I mean, like,
really,
snappy comebacks.
He's very like so it's funny you mentioned it. So, like, the first time, and I totally agree with the Shuksa thing. You guys were absolutely gold together. The first time I got to really see Baskow play, because I don't see that league too much, was actually at Checking for Charity when I was watching Team U, and I'm watching him, and it's me. Jared was on the bench. Ross actually came out, and like we were all just kind of obviously doing photos, but we were kind of like also like cheering on our club. And I'm watching him because I saw last name. I was like, oh, let me watch him and see how he plays because everybody talks about him. Man, just a quiet assassin, dude. Just he can fucking play.
Yeah,
absolutely fucking can play, man. Like, just very impressive. So definitely shout out to him. It was really cool to watch him play. And like I said, he's very humble, very nice guy too. It was pretty cool to watch.
The only person I know, the only two people I know that have got smoother hands than him are Hoffnagel and Ross.
Agreed. Yeah. Yeah, they're both. Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. But yeah, I like that. Bonus question. Actually, this one's for me. Bonus question. Did you ever think I was going to complete the quest of chasing Santora at all? I mean, a little bit.
No, and if you were going, I wasn't going to let you.
It's ladies and gentlemen, that's the competitiveness of Brian Santora. That's going to do it for Gut Check, Grove Wellness Center. Make sure you check it out. A couple comments here before we transition into our end of the show. Brian Leeds, funniest off ice was the golf cart. Don't know that story.
Oh my god! Yeah, we got after it at the UAHL, the charity golf outing, and the Corn Stars put a team in, and we got to the last hole of the day. Now we have been shooting. I actually made a couple good shots. Which, listen, I just go to golf so that I could have a few beers and play golf terribly. But I had a couple decent shots. Everybody did that day. We were feeling good about ourselves, and then we're coming back and
That 2.5 beer mark.
no, I was way past that.
2.5 beer.
And we decided,
I love that.
let's go down the hill to go back to the clubhouse, not realizing how steep that hill actually was instead of staying on the golf path. And yeah, we may have had a mechanical failure, and we wound up on the side of the road.
It's scary. I remember one time I was golfing. Dude, it's scary. I remember one time I was golfing one time, and Erica was driving the car, and I said, let me drive it. And I'm going like down the hill a little bit, and it was wet. And let me tell you something, we just span out. And I'm looking at her, and I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna fucking flip, and we didn't. But it was fucking scary. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
it was pretty scary.
We went over. I lost 3 beers and a transfusion, and I'm still laying under the cart laughing. Like, we're all laughing because nobody got hurt. And golf clubs are all over the cart path, and Leeds. He's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, but can you guys pick the golf cart up? It's on my foot." Because I literally couldn't get out from under the golf cart.
On Leeds' foot? On Leeds' fucking foot?
No, on mine. It was on mine.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Good. Absolutely. I love that, dude. Great story. But we're going to transition in our final segment, dude. And listen, we won't take up too much of your time. I really appreciate you coming on, man. Like, you know how much this meant to us. But this is going to be a kind of a part of the show where, like, where we'll do some talking. And, one of the most important things, not only, coach, goalie, player, but mentor. Santora the mentor, giving back to the hockey community. When I got in the ref, and it was funny. So I started when I had my first class. I look over behind me, and I see the man standing there himself, just kind of observing, just giving back to the community. And Meepo was the first player I got the ref with, and obviously, I appreciate having that opportunity to ref with somebody that I knew, but Santora was the guy that I went to a lot, obviously, just with the trust and just the love that I have for him. And some of the things I had asked him, and he always gave it to me straight. Like, he was never going to bullshit me. And I said, what's some of the things that you think I need to do? And it was like, don't jump to this certain level, stick with your level, like ease in, and him looking out for me to put me in a position to succeed as an early official, because I mean, anybody that's ref, it's a whole nother animal. It really is really, really different. Like, you see the game so differently, and I needed that guidance so much. And I'll even tell a little bit further of a story. Just even recently, after Flyers training camp, we're out having lunch, and I was in a position where I was not feeling confident about 2 games that I had, and I sat down. I was talking with Santora, and I was talking with Laura, and then my assigner actually had called, and Santora answers the phone, and they come back, and we're talking, and they typically said, like, I think you're going to do fine. You're going to put in a position where I think you're going to do well. And I was really nervous. I was literally getting ready to bow out of these 2 games, and it was a 12U AA, and it was a 14U AA women's league, which everybody knows me. I'm a huge women's advocate on hockey, so I was really excited to do something like this, but I was very, very nervous. I'm telling you right now, if it wasn't for you, Santora, if it wasn't for Laura, I would have bowed out on those games, 100%. And just, and I hope you really hear what I'm saying, brother. Like, the impact that you have, dude, in this community with a 35-year-old man with kids that you're working with, you have such a huge impact on this game of guidance that I almost never repay you for it, because I've now opened up so much more confidence to. I just reffed a 14U AA game just last week, full house at Oaks. I would never put in for something like that, and I really, really mean it. I hope you hear me. Like, I would have never put in for something like that if it wasn't for the guidance from you, if it wasn't from the guidance from Laura, from obviously Brian, give me that opportunity. Just the people that I've been surrounded around with you, and just seeing everything that you're doing within the community, man. Like, the events that you're a part of, and just plugging those events, whether you're there or not. Dude, you are like one of my favorite people. I'm probably gonna get emotional in this community, and I am so grateful that I've gotten to know you, and like the guidance that you have shown me. And we have a special message from someone that played with you that also wants to say something here.
Santora! Frankie hit me up saying he was going to have you on the podcast, my guy. Honestly, can't think of a better person to have on the podcast. The amount of knowledge and wisdom that you have bestowed upon me is unrepayable. You know, just from, you know, me letting up a real shitty goal with the Corn Stars and you telling me to find my head and, you know, stay locked in to, you know, telling me to move out the crease a little bit. You know, I appreciate, you know, everything that that you've done for me, and, you know, playing against you in that Bronze Plus game was a ton of fun. So, unfortunately, you know, I don't get to see you at the Corn Stars games that much anymore. But sometimes when I'm sitting on the couch, I can like faintly hear you screaming at the refs. And yeah, man, it's a blast playing with you. It was a blast doing the golf tournament with you. And hopefully get together sometime here soon. Love you, brother.
And that's the impact that you've been able to have on the people that you've surrounded yourself around, Santora. Not only me, but the players that you've played against, played with, everything that you've been able to give back to the hockey community from, you know, like I said, like events and just words of wisdom and not bullshitting either. Like, we've been friends a long time outside of like playing hockey. So when I know I come to you with a question, I know that I never have to feel uncomfortable. Like, oh, what should I ask him? Like, you know, is he going to feel some type of way? You've never made me feel uncomfortable coming to you for a question. And I know that you've always wanted me to succeed. And dude, I thank you so much for giving me that confidence, for what you've been able to do for the hockey community and the years that you've been able to do it, from, you know, Camden County Warriors, from the U, from working with me at Play Hockey, just everything. And I just want to, I'm gonna let Bex chime in too, but, you know, I want to know, like, how does it feel, man? Because like you have given so much back, and it really does mean a lot to me, man. Like, I hope that you know, and how humble you are. Like, and I had the conversation with Laura too about everything that she's been able to do for the sport. Like, you have made such an impact on this sport, dude, and I'm so grateful to have you in my life, brother.
I appreciate that, man, and that was a really cool message from Leedsy.
He charged me. No, I'm kidding. No, I'm kidding.
I love this game, and I if I've said it once, I'll say it 1,000 times over and over again. This game has given me more than ever I can ever repay. It's given me lifelong friends. It's given me, you know, I have family that's not blood. Whether it's the Camden County Warriors, whether it's people that I've worked with at rinks, you know, like the Whites and, you know, the Corn Stars and the Sugar Bush, just the whole hockey community in the Delaware Valley is amazing. I've met so many people that are lifelong friends of mine that I can call to come play, or I can see at the rink and it's a smiling face. It's people that are having kids now that are like, hey man, are you coaching? It's given my son so much. It's given me a way to bond with him. There's nothing that I can do. There's not any more time or effort I can put into this community. And I'll always give whatever I can, that would ever repay this sport for everything it's given me. So I'm only, you know, as rich in friends as I am because of the sport of hockey. So I will do anything I can to further the sport, to further women's hockey, to help produce the next generation of hockey players. You know, anything I can add to the existing, you know, generation, my generation, whether it's a place for them to play and have a good time, or if it's, you know, a cooler full of beer after a game in a parking lot. I don't care if I played against you. I don't care if you were on the other ice. Come over and hang out. I like that's like you. As peaceful as the ice is for me, and it's an hour and 20 minutes of mental peace for me. And the parking lot is just as much therapy.
Yeah.
So I can't take all the credit for, you know, everything that you mentioned, and I almost feel uncomfortable having those kind of accolades. It's not like me to kind of take that without feeling uncomfortable. But I you know, people like you are the reason why I keep coming back. People like Bex are the reason I keep coming back. You know, reffing. Yeah, we kind of get the shit end of the stick sometimes, but I love it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. And Laura and her brother are the reason, I can thank for that.
Yeah.
The guys down at Rizzo, I can thank for goaltending. And, just Steve and them, I can thank for skating out as a player. Alex Pastrusek, I can thank him and Brian Campbell, I can thank them for coaching. Phil Pastorelli and Mitch Larnard, I can thank them too. I mean, there's a webway of people that are the reason why I am where I'm at in hockey, and I would never be able to repay any of them. I'll do anything they ever ask me to, but I can't thank them enough.
I love that, man. I love that. And we just got one more little guest that just pop in and say a few words, and then we're gonna turn it over to backstage. Let's get him back in here. Meatball. I know Meatball wants to say a couple things. He's been hiding out backstage. Go ahead, buddy, because I know that you got something you want to say too, man.
Santora actually was there for my first reffing game to where I am today, and I probably wouldn't be the kind of ref I am today, like confident on the ice. Even Santora shit while he's in net, but he knows I try. So I give him 100% every time I'm out there. My calls might not be the best calls, but he always said, stand by your call, be confident, and I'm the ref I am today because of him.
Love that. I love that.
Meatball bit off a lot more than he could chew the first time he took on a game, and I was there to watch it.
Yeah.
But
that's funny. I love that.
But now I'm up to like reffing 15 games a weekend.
You're wild, man. You're doing it. But the confidence, and once again, and like, I hope this is okay to kind of still talk about just for a little bit more. But like, I think about it so much because I go back to it. I mentioned it so much like when I talked to Laura when he had her own. Like, I know myself, I would not have done those games. I would have easily bailed. As I was sitting there when we were having lunch, I would have bailed on those games. I would have held my head right between my legs. But no, the people I surrounded myself with Bexy being there, with Laura, when Santora, get out there, do it. It's the first time I ever reffed a game. I've been reffing for about almost a year now. I've never reffed like a 14-0. I've never done that kind of game before. I've always done men's league. So parents, coaches, never dealt with that before. And they were quick. It was pretty quick, especially when that second game. I would have never have done it if it wasn't for the people that were around me. And I know that because I know myself. And Meatball, the first time I ever reffed was with you. I mean, I can't leave you out of this as well. Like, I reffed with someone that I knew. That was very comforting for me. And we reffed 3 games together. Like, and you were very helpful because you had said, like, I mean, I wasn't that great the first one, but you said you're getting better. You're getting better. And then by the third one of men's league, I started to feel a little bit more comfortable. But like, never in a million years where I thought that I would have just been the guy that refs the men's league. But now after getting that confidence from my peers around me, I now look to ref other leagues. Like, my mind is like, hey man, why can't I ref a college game in like a year or two? Like, I've gained that confidence and just reaching out, like, hey, Santora, like, ref this game. What do you think about this? Like, what do you think is like another level up that wouldn't be too crazy? And of getting that advice and stuff like that. Like, I know if I ask you, Meatball, you'll just be like, ref every game, brother. I'm teasing. I'm messing with you. I'm chirping you.
There's still levels that I can't even do. Like, I can't even like sniff a college game right now. I don't think my position is there yet. I know that, but like, I'm doing 18 tier 1, and that's good enough for me.
That's awesome. I mean, that's, you never know. I mean, that's probably next for me. But
from where you started to where you are now, Meatball, you're 100% better than you were when you first put the patch on.
100%.
I'll take that, brother. And
like, even when you're goaltending, yelling at me or whatever, you'll come to me after the game in the parking lot. You'll be like, "Hey, man, this is where you were. This is what," and you'll ask me like, "What did you see?" And then I'll tell you, and then you're like, "Okay, I understand." Because Santora is the worst critic when he's in that net. There's no one else, and I'll go to him and be like, "Hey, man, would you would have called that?" And he'll tell me no, yes, or I'll be like, and then he'll just give me the best advice. That's just.
I love that.
But
I love that, man. I do. I love that. And I appreciate you checking in, Meatball. I'm gonna let you hang before we transition out, man. The one and only Meatball. Thanks for checking in, brother. But I mean, yeah, man. Just kind of want to end the show on that note because I feel like people that give back like that, like yourself and like Laura, and she was very relatable to kind of how you like it. It was difficult for her to kind of like talk about the accolades and stuff like that, but it's good to focus like on that impact that like people are having for the sport, like with Laura and with you, and like you said, it comes from a root of the people that you had helped you, and you paid it forward. And now look at the people that you're impacting, not just children, but friends of yours, peers of yours. So I just wanted to kind of like, end that show. I'm going to let Bexy take the floor here, and then we're going to transition out of here, man. But I had to give that little Santora the mentor thing.
All right, so we got the second best fun part of the show. Got the chirp of the week coming in. Our chirp of the week is always sponsored by Crawdaddy Saves. Check him out on his YouTube, Crawdaddy Saves. So
you'll see us on there.
Nice
You'll see all three of us on there.
Yeah. Nice little your mom's minivan has better handles.
That's
Your
solid. I
mom's
like that.
minivan.
That's solid.
That's epic.
Yeah. I thought you were changing my chirp of the week there, Frankie, but
I was going to get a quote from one of my favorite chirpers of all time, and also one of my favorite gremlins of all time, Allie Hirschman. I mean, I don't think anybody chirps better than her. She's literally like so funny. But great chirp. And just kind of the transition now, we're gonna be saying goodbye real quick. Just want to hit our Hockey Players Unite event list. This Saturday, Camden County Warriors, New Jersey State Troopers. Make sure you're going to be there. It's going to be a great time. Santora, thanks for getting me in touch with everybody. Going to be an excellent time. Really excited about it. Philly Bully Team events. They have their second event coming up. 5th annual Pities of Pumpkin Fest at Stray Dog Tavern. This is to support our good friend Laura White's sister, I believe.
Yep.
Correct.
100%. Love that. And then can't wait for this, the Philadelphia Blind Hockey second annual tournament. I'll be down there doing photos. Coach Bex will be on the ice. We got, all different schools are going to be involved. The Pride, Father Judge will be involved as well. Can't wait
and
to
we'll be
down there.
about it on Tuesday. Kelsey will be on to talk about it on Tuesday. So look forward to that, guys.
Kelsey will be back on the show next week, the founder of Philadelphia Blind Hockey, to talk about that big event. And the No Deeks All Eats food drive at Grundy. We got our box open. We are going to be going down to the Camp Out for Hunger this year to donate. Obviously, I doing work with Preston and Steve. I want to get involved a little bit more. Give back.
You got to let us know when you're down there, Frankie, because CCW usually makes a pilgrimage down there to donate.
100% absolutely will. I've been talking to Casey to try and get the schedule of like what everything's happening that day. So I'll be down there all week regardless. But I'll let you know when the No Deeks are going down. Definitely want you guys to come down there as well to hang out with us. But checking our last final comments here. Appreciate the iron cross drills you make me do from John Hood.
Yeah, he really loves those drills.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, that's going to do it for us on this great episode. We got to get Santora out of here. He's got a big game. My main man, thank you so much for doing this, dude. You know how
Thanks
much
for having me on, guys. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Get out of here, brother. We'll be talking to you soon. Bexy, anything else you want to add?
No, I'm excited for next week, guys. We got some big things brewing. So, Santora, thanks for your time, and be ready for next week, y'all.
Let's go. We are out.